Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into the weeds of digital workspaces. It's evolving so
It
fast.
really is.
And we're putting a big spotlight on artificial intelligence AI and how it's changing not just workflows, but, collaboration, security, everything.
Yeah, definitely.
Our mission today, for you listening, is to unpack some maybe surprising facts and, more importantly, the practical uses of these tools. Think Microsoft 365, Google, Zoho, especially with AI built in.
It's pretty amazing when you step back and see how the idea of a workplace itself is just completely flipped.
Right?
Not long ago, it was your physical desk, maybe those huge filing cabinets boosting with paper, waiting for the mail.
Oh, the mail. Yeah.
And now it's all about these interconnected digital spaces. Understanding that shift is, well, it's crucial to keep up.
That jump from the physical desk to this digital world, it really sets the scene perfectly for what we're talking about. So when we say workspace now, like Microsoft 365, what is that really?
Yeah.
At its heart.
Well, at its core, Microsoft 365, it's essentially a suite of tools, all cloud-based, designed to help you work smarter,
Okay.
better collaboration, tighter security. Think of it as an all-in-one productivity platform for work. It's less about a physical place now and more about this digital platform.
So if we put the old ways side by side with today's digital workspace,
Heck yeah.
the difference is huge, right? Almost revolutionary.
Yeah.
What are the biggest game changers you see?
Oh, absolutely revolutionary. Take the platform itself. Old days, you had the office building. You had to be there.
Physically present, yeah.
Today, platforms like M365, Google, Zoho, you can work from basically anywhere with Wi-Fi. It just shatters those geographic limits.
And documentation.
Yeah.
I still remember trying to manage different versions of a Word doc on a shared drive. Nightmare.
Exactly. That move from stacks of paper to apps like Word, Excel, PowerPoint.
Mhm.
It wasn't just about saving trees, so that's good too.
Right.
It was about enabling, real-time collaboration. Think about multiple people editing the same file at the same time, seeing the changes pop up instantly.
Yeah, that was science fiction not long ago.
Totally. And having every version saved automatically,
Yeah.
it just changed how projects get done. Radical.
And communication, desk phones, and waiting for letters. Now it's instant messages, video calls.
Right. We went from physical phones and relying on the postman for important stuff to instant digital channels, email, chat, video, audio calls. It's a completely different speed, a different reach. Global teams can connect like they're next door. And then storage. Remember those metal filing cabinets?
Yes. Always running out of space.
Always. When they were full, you had to buy another one. Or find storage off-site somewhere.
The endless hunt for filing space.
Now,
Yeah.
it's all digital. OneDrive, Google Drive, things like that. It's not just saving physical room. It's about massive scalability on demand.
Right.
It grows with you.
And you can access it from anywhere.
Exactly. Plus, it's way better for the environment.
It's quite something how far we've moved beyond those physical limits. So, okay, we have this huge digital toolkit now. How do the core features from the big players, Microsoft, Google, Zoho, actually compare?
Well, they all provide a solid foundation. For docs, M365 has Word, Excel, PowerPoint. Google's got Docs, Sheets, Slides. Zoho has its own set, too. Pretty standard stuff, really.
Okay, and for keeping teams connected day to day?
Communication-wise, M365 leans heavily on Teams. That's the hub for chat, calls, meetings.
Yeah.
Google offers Meet for video and chat for the instant messaging part. Zoho uses Click, their collaboration platform. The goal for all of them is kind of centralizing those work conversations, getting them out of just email.
Storage seems similar, but with some key differences.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Storage in M365 splits between OneDrive, that's your personal cloud space, and SharePoint, which is more for shared team files, organizational stuff.
Okay.
Google has MyDrive for personal files and shared drives for the team collaboration aspect. Zoho offers WorkDrive. That distinction between personal and shared is pretty important for managing data and how teams work together.
And the absolute essentials, email and calendar, they all have those covered.
Oh, definitely. The lifeblood, like you said. Yeah. M365 uses Outlook and Calendar. Google relies on Gmail and Google Calendar. Zoho provides Zoho Mail and Zoho Calendar, your central command for messages and scheduling.
So those are the basics, the foundations. But what about the newer stuff? The really cutting-edge features that are changing how we use these platforms now?
Okay, yeah, the biggest one, and probably the one with the most buzz right now, is the deep integration of AI, artificial intelligence. For M365, it's Copilot. Google has Gemini. Zoho's AI is called Zia. This isn't just like a small feature update. It's a fundamental change in how you interact with everything, moving from clicking menus to just talking to your tools.
Asking for what you need, and then there's getting all your different apps and services to work together, the integration part.
Yes, huge. M365 has tools like Power Automate. That's for building automated workflows between different apps and Power Apps, which lets you build custom business apps, often without heavy coding. Google has AppSheet, letting you build mobile apps from spreadsheets, plus their big Google Workspace marketplace for connecting third-party tools. Zoho's got Zoho Flow for automation, Zoho Creator for building custom apps, and Zoho Connect for team collaboration. It's all about knitting things together, customizing your workspace.
Tailoring it to how you work.
Yeah.
And finally, automation, getting rid of those boring, repetitive tasks.
Exactly. For automation, M365 uses the whole Power Platform, with Power Automate being key there. Google leverages its big Google Cloud platform for more advanced stuff. And Zoho, like we said, has Zoho Flow for streamlining tasks. It's all about freeing up our time for the more interesting strategic work.
Okay, so that brings us neatly to, well, the star of the show for a lot of M365 users right now, Microsoft Copilot. Microsoft seems to be putting massive focus on this. You log into office.com and bam, it's right there.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's very intentional. They want you to see Copilot as your internal personal assistant. They've rolled it out broadly across M365 because they genuinely believe it can change how we handle daily tasks. Think about having an assistant ready to help draft an email or break down a complex report, without actually hiring someone.
So we know what it is conceptually. Let's get practical. What's one thing you've seen people use Copilot for that's genuinely useful, maybe even a bit surprising?
Well, the first big capability, and it really is powerful, is generating content.
Okay.
Copilot can draft emails, create templates for documents, even whip up structured forms. Say you need to collect specific info like a date, someone's birthday, how often they do something. It's a fantastic starting point. Lets you run ideas past the AI first.
That definitely sounds efficient. But does it always nail it first time? What's the next big thing it does beyond just writing stuff?
It can be a huge time saver, yeah, but often the first draft needs a bit of work, some refinement.
Sure.
The second key function, and maybe one people don't use enough, is its ability to analyze data. You can feed it almost any document, financials, code, complex legal contracts.
Mm-hmm.
Copilot can help you quickly grasp the critical terms, figure out contract lengths, spot profit points, see how data is being used. It can even generate charts and infographics from that data, making it way easier to see what's going on.
So it's not just about words, it's about understanding numbers and complex info too. Okay, and the third main capability.
The third really crucial one is refining and summarizing. Got a super long, dense analysis. Copilot can boil it down, make it clearer.
Nice.
But here's the thing, and it's important. Getting good results from AI, it takes a bit of effort. You need to be specific.
Right, prompt engineering.
Exactly. It might take a few tries, and being really clear in your prompts helps massively. We sometimes call it conversational interruption. You don't need a whole new prompt each time. If it gives you an image, you can just say, make it more vibrant, and it tweaks the last thing it did.
That's a good tip. Iterate on it. It's not magic then, which leads to the obvious question, what can't it do? What are the limitations specifically for Copilot?
Yeah, really important point for anyone jumping in. While it's powerful, AI like Copilot definitely has limits. For starters, reliability can sometimes be an issue. It struggles to really connect different programs in a deep, contextual way. And critically, it lacks real contextual awareness or, critical thinking skills. It's not thinking like a person.
So it's not going to run your business strategy meeting?
No, definitely not. It can't make those big strategic decisions. It might suggest investments based on trends it sees in data, sure, but that's different. Fundamentally, it lacks emotional intelligence, intuition, attitude, ethics. It judges based purely on inputs, and those inputs might not always be right or could even be misleading.
And the accuracy of what it spits out is still something to watch?
Absolutely. Information from AI may not always be correct. That's why the standard advice is always double-check it.
Treat it like a very smart, very fast assistant who still needs supervision.
Exactly. It augments your abilities. It doesn't replace your judgment.
Okay, that brings up a massive security question. Lots of people play around with free AI tools, maybe ChatGPT. How does Copilot handle security, especially with sensitive company data, compared to something like the free ChatGPT?
This is a really key differentiator, and probably why Microsoft is pushing Copilot so hard inside businesses. Copilot works within the secure environment of your Microsoft 365 account, under your identity.
Okay.
What that means is any content you generate, any data you analyze with it, it's stored within your company. It stays inside your organization's secure bubble. If I use Copilot for my company data and you use it for yours, there's no crossover.
So it's not feeding back into some giant public AI model on the internet where others might somehow access it or learn from it.
Precisely. That's the risk sometimes with the free versions of public chatbots. Your inputs might be used for broader model training, potentially making them accessible. Now, it's fair to say paid. Enterprise versions of ChatGPT also offer secure environments.
Right.
But the core thing with Copilot is that deep integration. It lives inside your company's existing M365 security setup within your trusted cloud. Capability-wise, though, Copilot today is definitely up there, comparable to what leading models like ChatGPT can do.
That's a critical point for any business worried about confidentiality. So looking forward, what's the next evolution for AI in these workspaces? I heard you mention something about AI agents.
Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting, I think. The idea is creating these AI agents within Copilot. Think of them as highly specialized AI helpers that you can essentially train or point towards specific resources.
Like what?
So say you're a Python coder. You could build a Python agent linked specifically to the official Python documentation website, or maybe a particular code library, or maybe an Excel expert agent that knows all the complex formulas because it's linked to a specialist Excel site.
Huh. So you're not just using a general AI, you're building little specialist assistants for specific tasks.
Exactly. These agents become experts in their narrow domain because they're tied to specific, reliable knowledge sources. It shows where Microsoft 365 is heading, encouraging us to really embrace AI not just as a feature, but as something customizable, an extension of our own skills. The vision seems to be AI is the future of how we work, helping us get better, faster, and more creative by providing this kind of tailored on-demand expertise.
Wow. Okay, we've covered a serious amount of ground today. We started with that really fascinating evolution of the digital workspace, moving from physical offices to these huge interconnected platforms.
Yeah, highlighting those big shifts in documentation, communication, storage, how fundamentally different things are.
Then we navigated the modern toolkit, seeing how Microsoft, Google, Zoho offer those core features, but also these really powerful new layers, AI, integration tools, automation.
And we spent a good chunk of time deep diving into Microsoft Copilot, understanding it as that AI personal assistant, what it can do, like generating content, analyzing data, refining things.
But also being clear about the limitations, right? And crucially, how it handles security within your company's data.
Right. And that idea of specialized AI agents really does point towards a potentially very different future of work.
It really makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If AI becomes this incredibly capable personal assistant, handling tasks from writing emails to analyzing complex data, how does that fundamentally change the kind of work we end up doing?
What are the skills that become even more valuable? Critical thinking, creativity, managing the AI.
Exactly. What new approaches will we need as AI handles more of the, let's say, heavy lifting on generation and analysis? That's definitely something for you, our listeners, to mull over as we close out this deep dive.